Testing 1, 2, and we are live. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the 130th episode of the Saturday Morning Standup, where on Saturday morning we discuss what's been happening in Splinterlands this week with you, and also, what they've been doing in game, what they've been putting into the game, new stuff. So we can dive in and discuss whatever you want to, really. I think the main thing I've done in Splinterlands this week is I did produce a video that discussed how to use or ran through how to use base chain to buy SPS. I think that involved a lot of time this week for me to put out. It didn't get like a lot of views right off. Whenever you drop a video on YouTube, it's really about that first hour or that first day that it drops. A lot of these videos don't get a lot of views, but I thought it was important to put out because it's a piece of important information, especially for new users or new players within Splinterlands. One of the biggest questions that is really on everybody's mind is after you get into the game and you figure out, hey, I'm going to need some SPS. How do I get that? Well, one of the most recent innovations or connections within Splinterlands was the base network, and it stands to save, if you're going to buy some SPS, it stands to save you some money on fees as well as time. So that's what I did this week. We are going to give away Arena Fanatic, one or two of them today, as well as we've got some pickles to give away, courtesy of DeFizz. I sent them over last week, so thanks for that. We can jump in. I see we've got some chat going on. See who's in the house today. DeFizz is here. Says that they've been mainly collecting BFA pickles and getting Dave's thinking about titles for pickle holders. That's funny. I had a chuckle when you had said that a few minutes ago. A title for a pickle holder and what that connotes, So that's kind of funny. But thanks for dropping by, DeFizz, as always. Gathering the Magic is here. Says good morning, happy Saturday. Working on maxing out my Frontier deck on my $10 account. You used to have to just say $10 account. Now it's multiple. Will take a while, but I enjoy the journey. I have not done a whole lot on my Frontier account, to tell you the truth, mostly because I've been busy, doing a lot of other things. But I happened to pop over here on the main page of Splinterlands and noted that it's not a page I go to that often. I usually sit on the play screen when I'm going back and forth. But I do note that they have been working on this lately, and they have this section with news and updates, which is nice because you've got this the new card that's available, Dar. I think that's still a weird name, Dar, Gotham, Gearnut, but anyway, it shows all the news and happenings right here on the main page. And I also had noted that the pickle auctions are kind of, I don't know if they're winding down. I don't know how much we have left on them, but it's been going on for quite a while. If you want to get your pickle, you need to go ahead and get in there and get them, though. And they upgraded the behind the scenes, some things behind the scenes this last week, which kind of ended up in a prolonged downtime, which it kind of affected me because previously, I was working on that video that night for bringing SPS into game on the base chain, and I got all the way through it, and then I'm like, the last stage is showing people how to bring it into game. Game's down again. So I had to wait until the next day to go ahead and finish that off. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Gathering. As always, we got Wibble with the big Wee. We've got Crypto Beaver here saying good morning. Beaver stopping by. Supreme Victory Studios is in the house. Welcome. I hope you're having a good week. Lady Sharon is here. Always good to see her. Says, hello, scared me for a second. Your intro music wasn't playing and I couldn't figure out why there was no sound. Well, I had it on normally, so did anybody else not hear the music? I don't know. Don't know what was going on, but thanks for dropping by. As always, we've got Paul Taylor in the house. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for dropping by. Beaker is here. Welcome, Beaker. says Gathering the Magic. Nice pull on the Gar card. Oh, I didn't see. GTM pulled a nice Gar card then. I was thinking about it, but there's just so much stuff to spend your money on these days. I was watching Gathering the Magic was having a discussion in chat earlier in Discord about packs. Specifically, let's see. Let's go over the market, other items, and these packs, foundation packs. He was talking about them, and at one point they were up above 50 cents, and now they're down below a quarter. So people have really been, undercutting. So it's, I guess the market is marketing, right? I haven't put any money into these packs myself. I need to look at my land because there's some things I need to do on my land today. Since you're here, you can just kind of follow along. Let me know in the chat if you've made any major land purchases this last week. Lady Sharon says, anyway, finished tournaments and brawls this morning. No one entering brawls, so maybe I'll win them all by default. So you are playing some brawls and you have a bunch of people that are just not. I think I usually have like two. I always fill my brawls and then I'll have like two of the matches people just won't play or something or other. But that's the whole point between actually putting your matches in, because if they forget to, or it's usually probably if they forget to or something like that, then you win by default. So a win's a win, right? Lady Sharon says, I'm not interested in buying SPS with cash, but I would be interested in going the other way, or basically having a place to store stuff if I do other game that gives me Bitcoin or pieces of Bitcoin. Yeah, that's going to be my next video. But I had to start off, logically speaking, before I did a video on how to get SPS out of the game and turn it into actual cash. I had to do the video on how to actually get SPS, because you have to set up the whole setup has to be in place first before you do the reverse, which taking SPS out of the game, which I'm not, it's part of the game, right? Making money off of the game, but SPS is such a good rate now that as far as bringing in a little bit, I figured that would be a good time. It's a popular question for new users. So, it's the main thing I think is, it's good for the game, right? But it's also good for increasing what you make off the game. So, if you're playing in modern, if you are playing in in Frontier, then it's not going to matter, because what you're making off the game is buying and selling the cards, right? You're not making SPS off the game. So, but whenever you click over to Modern or Wild, then you're also making SPS. What you make off the game it changes from the cards to the SPS. So, speaking of SPS, I need to do my claim. Got a little 15 extra. Usually make about 30 a day, something like that. 30 SPS a day, 30 to 45, somewhere in there. Not counting the matches, I'm just talking about what I make off of staking rewards, which is another topic we talked about last week. So let's go back to land. Let's see what everybody's talking about. Affliction's here. Welcome, Affliction. Thanks for dropping by. Always good to see a new name. Wibble says, I have mostly been inflicting beaver stories on unexpected Twitch streamers. Well, you do tend to talk about beavers quite a lot. Ever since I've become known you on popping up on Discord and starting to talk about a beaver card. But all these years later, guess what? It looks like you're going to get a beaver card, and hopefully it'll be a land card. So we'll see. Beaker says, almost got to eat hurry up bronze. Gathering says, yeah, foundation packs were 19 cents. Then they jumped to 78. Then everybody undercutted back down. Well, it's the marketing. And of course, you jumping on and talking about packs, that exacerbates the effect, right? So everybody's going to see it in chat and it's going to be like, oh, I got to jump in. So try to make some of that money. That's called the YouTube effect. Anytime you find a deal and you're a YouTuber, you got to really take advantage of that deal that you find before you announce it in a video. Otherwise, when you announce it in a video, then the deal's gone because somebody else takes it. Gathering says, I did purchase more gold foil epics for land. Finished maxing out 3 of them, but need to wait 3 days to combine them and put them back on. Yeah, I hate that cooldown. In fact, one thing I need to do today is pull some workers off of a common property I have and put them onto a rare property that I have. And I think I'm going to encounter that cooldown, but we'll have to see. I want to start out with going ahead and doing my harvest, because this happens to be my harvest cooldown day once a week. So let's go ahead and claim while we're talking about it. This is my land in Veritas, which is number 1, region number 1. I got about 47,000 grain. And about 15,500 wood. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to go sell some of that, actually. Go to the trade hub and make a little bit of DEC. Let's go to grain and choose number 1, and let's see, I got 145,000. Let's sell 45,000 of that. Okay, that'll get me I need DEC 0.5. Oh, it's zeroed out. I'll get 428 DEC. It's all going to help me whenever I do that swap over. I thought about buying more land cards this week, but then I still want to buy my pack to open, Conclave Arcana Gold Foil pack. So I don't know. It's kind of toss up on what I wanted to spend the money on, right? Okay, so, oh, you know what else we need to do? I need to sell some wood. I should have done this. DC... Veritas 0.5. So I got 61,000. Let's just sell 25,000 wood. Nope, not 215,000. Okay, get 756 DEC. This is what I've been doing all along. Just every time I harvest, sell a little bit of it. Just to make some DEC, and then in my other regions I actually have to buy some stone, and I've actually even been thinking about turning off my aura, because I'm not using my aura production. I know it might become handy in the future. I'm looking at you, Wibble. Frankly, I'm looking forward to that beaver card. Or any of the land cards, like if they're going to make a separate, say like Beaver is the Earth card, right? Or something that would make sense, right? But maybe if they make one land card for each splinter, then maybe I could use my aura for that. But it's just so expensive to keep producing on a weekly basis, and I'm just not really using it for anything. But we'll go ahead and do the harvest all for this week. It looks like I need, it's been this way for a while, a little bit over 5,000 stone I need. So let's go ahead and get more stone. We are in Tostrington, And let me see if I can use grain. Do I have enough grain in Tostrington? I need actually about 5,500. Yeah, I got enough. Yeah, I got plenty. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just swap some grain for stone. We'll get back to chat here in a minute. I need to do this combine, or I need to get these claims done, and then I can do what needs to be done on my land. Because frankly, land is really my focal point playing in the game now. My bot still plays in wild, and I've been playing around with everything else in the game, right? But my focal point is really land. Okay, so we got 21,744 grain. Yes, I do keep track of this. For what reason? I really haven't had a reason yet, but I kind of like to keep track of what I'm harvesting every week. Let's see here. I've got 503 stone, not very much stone, so I'm barely making. I could probably sell a little bit of stone, but not too much. And I come in with 3,100 aura. I did use the aura to repair my wagons here a while back when that changed over. So I won't say that I'm not using it for anything, but mostly it's just been, piling up. And I've got one more. Beaker said, I bought a rare beta this morning card for a land. Nice. That's kind of what I've been looking at. I've been comparing the gold foil commons and rares in Chaos Legion at max level to rare betas at max level, and find they kind of give a very similar value. I've been deferring to buying the betas just because the card collector in the back of my brain said, buy the older stuff. That's basically what it says. But very good, very good. Gathering says, Dave hinted at jackpot cards coming up in Frontier. This is nice, but frankly, I'm hitting an overload. I usually default to the thought that more options are better, and I generally think that way. But there's so many things happening and available in Splinterlands currently that I just can't really wrap my brain around it, and I just have to focus and then just go from one thing to another to another. Like, I haven't even bought a DAR yet. I do want to buy a DAR. I know that I want it for the collection, but I know I'm not going to be able to buy it at the level that it's going to be useful for my actual play. I do want one for my collection, but it's just like so many different things available. Beaker says $28 boosted around 13,000 production points. Nice, yeah. I've been buying the rares at max level, and they seem to be, I guess it depends upon several different factors, what you got going on your land as far as totems and stuff like that. But it seems to be like around 12,000, yeah, 13,000. There's some variables in there though, right? I also bought two totems, two common totems this week. I got them for about $11 a piece. Which, if you don't know what totems do, you can place totems on your land, and depending upon the rarity, they give different boost amounts. Commons will give you extra 10%, which I figure the totems are getting a lot more, a lot rarer these days since you can only people with the castles and keeps can actually get the fragments, right? So Crypto Beaver says, need another 500 vouchers to get the 1,050 vouchers needed for the new card. Slow grind for sure. Yeah, I've got like enough vouchers for one. I probably had to buy it with cash. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are... Okay, we already did that. Next up, I got talking about something. This is the one where I have most property in Ravenwood, just because I like the sound of the name. That's why I bought there. But over time, I've just kind of picked up, deals here and there when I can find them. I haven't found a deal lately. Last deal I got was for this rare grain producing bog, which is, since it's rare, what I want to do is I want to switch the cards out from a common, this common right here, right? So if you're relatively new to the game, before you do any changes on your land parcel, you want to do a claim, because if you go and you change something on that land, like a card, a totem, whatever it is, it's going to automatically trigger a claim. So the best time that I've found to do it is immediately after you do your regular claim on a weekly basis, or however long you do, you know, so. Beaker says, yeah, a lot of chances coming, rewards cards, lands cards. Yeah, there's, I mean, like I said, more is better, right? But at a certain point, your brain gets overloaded and you're like, oh, what do I do? You know? Okay, so let's do the harvest all on this. I need 2,500 stone, so let's go ahead and go over here. And we are in Ravenwood. Let's see if we have enough grain to swap over. I need 2,500. Let's just do 3,000. Yeah, got plenty. Let's do that and swap so I can make my claim. Once again, I'm producing a small amount of aura in this. I would not call myself a big aura farmer. I've just got 2 plots that are okay, producing rather. Okay, Ryan B's here. Welcome, Ryan. Thanks for dropping by. Just started playing the game a few days ago. Really liking it so far. Nice. Welcome to the game. Like I said, there's lots of different things in this game. You can play cards, and you can play them a number of different ways. You can collect cards. You can play the land game like I do. There's lots of different things that you can do. Just take it slow. Go through. They've really improved how new players come into the game these days with the storyline that you do, and you get some cards and get up and going in the frontier mode and everything, and that starts to, you know, get you used to playing the game. Then you can decide whether you want to step into modern, and after you've been in the modern for a while, you can decide whether you want to dabble with wild. Survival should come back online here pretty soon whenever they get things fixed up. Let's go ahead and put this in my spreadsheet before we continue. So in this region, I got almost 50,000 grain, which after I do the changeover to land from common to rare, I thought about just buying some more cards, but I mean, it's just a matter of money, right? That's life, right? Anything you ask yourself in life, it's a matter of money. Especially in business. You ask yourself, have some young guys come up to me at work and say, why did this happen? I'm like, well, it's money. It's usually the answer in business is it's because of money. Save money, usually. But in this game, it's how the choice on how you want to spend money. And that usually comes down to how you actually play the game. So like myself, while I am buying gold foil packs, I'm attempting to play the gold foil phrase in my guild brawls. That's not working out too well since my main guild is at the top, playing at the top level. Since we went into the top level, I'm just not doing very well. I'm facing basically maxed out decks is what I'm doing. So, and mine is by far not maxed out. So I'm thinking about changing my strategy. But I like to buy the older cards, which would relegate me to playing in wild, right? Which my accounts do. Okay, so we've got that there. Let's jump back in, check out chat a little bit, and then we can, let's see here. Ryan says, doing some Frontier action now. Everybody's saying hello to Ryan. Gathering says, what is your in-game name? And I can send you some Frontier cards. Yeah, one of the things you'll find about this game is that longtime players are more than happy to help out. Um, Ryan says Zarth Light, so that means if you still have Light on your account, that means you haven't bought the spell book yet, which is just $10. But that's the next step, and it gives you some other bonuses. You buy the spell book, you get some free packs, you get some SPS staked on your behalf for a month. Wibble says they're saving Aura for a Beaver card. So he's proud of me. Ryan says he got what Gathering sent him. So if you want to loan Zarth Light some cards, you can feel free to do that. Once again, that is XARTH_light. And just for information, once you get that spell book, they'll take that light off of there for you. That's what that light means. So. Ryan says, after Gathering, asking what his favorite Splinter is, I win most with Death. Yes, Death is pretty strong in Frontier. I haven't been a strong Death player. We'll get back to land here, but in my Conclave cards, I do like. I know this isn't Frontier, but just kind of on that same Death topic, I do like Razzie Clanktrap. And I like the fact that he has close range, which is, if you're not familiar with that, that means all your range cards can fire in the first position, which I've been having fun with. And also it has the bloodline. If you use gnomes, then you'll get Painforge +1 when damaged. So that comes in, but I mainly like that close range power. So let's go back to land. Now we are Penn State. Oh. That's a Penn State saying. They shout that at the games. Let's see here. Let's go to this. And what I want to do is I want to come into this land, which is producing grain. And we want to manage it since we just did the claim. We're going to, or a harvest, sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. No. Let's go back. I want to manage it, and I want to remove. Let's just clear all. That's the easy button. That's another thing I want to point out. There's a few places that I've noted around the game lately that they've added these handy, what I would call quality of life buttons that actually do things that are really save you a lot of time, like this clear all and the harvest all, stuff like that, which we think, oh, it's simple. But behind the scenes, sometimes these buttons are difficult to program. It might sound like, oh, I wish we had that in game. It's just a button. But then when you go to figure out how to actually make that button happen in the background, great quality of life benefit in the game, but sometimes they're pretty tricky to make work in the background. So I cleared all, save changes, and now my grain rate goes down by 242. So we will confirm. And I believe those are going to incur a 3-day cooldown. Is that right, Magic? Let's go to items, card collection, clear, Chaos Legion, gold foil, and those are not Rift Watchers. So I know I had some of these. Let's see what they say. This card has recently been removed from the land and will be available for use again in 2 days. So it's a 2-day cooldown period. So what that leads me to say my next step is going to be is, let's go into production over here. So when those come off of cooldown, I'm going to go down in here and add them to my bog. Basically the takeaway from this is they will be producing more since it's on a rare instead of a common. But I do have to incur a 2-day cooldown. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason behind that in the background why they put that cooldown there, but it is what it is. Okay, let's go back out here, check out some chat. We got that done. Beaker says, yes, death in the lower leagues later on water. As far as Frontier goes, yeah. Gathering says max beta commons at $23 is good for 5,000 production points. Yeah, compared to max gold foil chaos rare is 4,000 for the same price. Yeah, they're kind of in the same neighborhood. The gold foil is going to be a little bit more. I looked at them earlier. No, we want to go on the market. Buy cards. Chaos Legion gold foil rares. And yeah, it just depends upon what splinter you want, right? So you can go, I have the filter set at max level. Let me take a minute here and say, please like and subscribe. Please consider supporting the channel and joining the channel and becoming a member. I would appreciate it. Okay, so since I just noticed it's just after 12 o'clock, let's go to the Wheel of Names. And if you have been active in chat, and you want to get your name in the pot for you're going to get an Arena Fanatic and a pickle. The Arena Fanatic is courtesy of the Splinterlands team, and the pickle is courtesy of DeFizz. Put your name in the chat. Hashtag SPS to the moon if you've been active in chat, and get your name in a drawing because we always want to encourage people to be active in chat. I don't think it's that hard. Show up and just talk about Splinterlands. Watching on YouTube, there's really no benefit as far as minutes go by, like on Twitch. So we're just giving them away manually. We just ask you to be active in chat. So we've got a giveaway going on. Put hashtag SPS to the moon in the chat and get your name in the drawing for an Arena Fanatic and a pickle. Okay, DeHota's in the house. Welcome to Hota. I think you just popped in. Thanks for dropping by. Okay. Pickle Fanatic. Okay, we got a list of names here. If you'd like to get in on the drawing and you have a Splinterlands account, and you have you have to have an active Splinterlands account and have your spell book bought, and I'll send you the card. So we got DeFizz in the house. Yeah. Okay, let's give it another minute. If you notice that you want your name on this list and it's not up there, put hashtag SPS to the moon in the chat. Dahota says, oh man, manually typing in the names. You need a better system. Your channel is growing too fast for manual enter. Well, ping me in Discord if you have a better way to do it. I don't have a staff like these big YouTubers and stuff. It's me. It's me in these hands. And I would say that taking typing in college was one of the best classes that I ever took because I still can type pretty good. Um, hey, Poker Mouse, welcome to the show. Okay, here we go. Shuffle, 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 and cross your fingers. Thanks for dropping by, Poker Mouse. We are talking Splinterlands today. And just over the bar, Dehota gets it. Dehota, is that your Splinterlands name? I'm looking around for... I need to get a new sticky tab here. What is your in-game name, your Hive name, please? And you have won an Arena Fanatic and a pickle. Congratulations. And then we'll jump back into Splinterlands talk. Okay, so... yeah, I have to type it down on my notepad so I'll remember. I do these immediately. If I give away something, I do it right after the show. So if you haven't got it like an hour or two after the show, then you need to let me know. Hey, Arbin is in the house. Welcome, Arbin. Thanks for dropping by. We are talking Splinterlands today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. Arbin's a big supporter of the channel. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get the chat back up here and see what everybody's talking about. Ryan says, yeah, I notice a lot of people are using it in bronze, so just follow it along. Oh, I know what we're talking about. We were talking about gold foil rare Chaos Legion cards for production power on land versus beta rare standard foils. And it really just depends upon, I guess all of them are like in the $17 to $30, $35. I mean, the more popular ones are going to be a little bit more. But then you get like you said, before bonuses, you get 4,000 production power, right? Versus, let's clear this, the betas, and this is standard foil rares. And then you would get, let's filter out the gold foils. Some of the more popular ones. Wow, look at that. A spineback turtle. I love spineback turtle back in the day. Still really cool low-level tank if you don't got one. But I was just surprised that it's $88. Of course, there's just one on the market. Love the spineback turtle. I used that in low mana matches all the time back in the day. But let's go back. I was kind of looking at, what was the most efficient one? I was looking at like, where's the archer? Oh, here's the archer. For $25, for $26, you can get 5,500 production points, right? So very similar, a little bit more, but you know, I think collectability-wise, I always go back to the collectability-wise. A lot fewer betas than there are Chaos Legion by a long way. So I want to be able to use it on land, but I also want it to have that collectability after, you know, whatever. If I take them off land, I can go ahead and sell them or whatever. But you know what? It's all give and take. This is not investment advice. This is just coming from the brain of a collectible card guy. You know, so what it's been doing and what they've been good for. You know, if you're relatively new, if you decide you have to play in Wild, you have to pay a fee to play in Wild. So that's an extra fee on top of having older cards. You know, so yeah, they're useful on land, and yeah, you can play them in Wild. It just costs you some every season to do it, and it doesn't. Their collectability just doesn't seem to line up with your average, you know, buying Magic the Gathering or Pokemon and having older cards. So the price hasn't went up like that. In fact, a lot of the prices of the older cards have deflated. So This is, like I said, not collectible, not investment advice. It's just from the brain of a guy who collects cards, and I would like to have the older stuff. Gathering says, I need more grain plots in 43. I know I'm way behind chat. Beaker says, me too, now to boost my grain plots. Snowballs is in the house. How late am I? I usually turn up at the end. Well, we've got another 20 or 30 minutes, depending upon how chat goes. Gathering says, I need to start up my research in Aura again. Then they just drain my resources so much. Yeah, well, I've got it set up pretty good. It's just I end up having to buy stone because I don't have a stone producing land. If I could find a stone producing land in Tostrington has just been bone dry on stuff, you know. 3 plots for sale in Tostrington, you know, and I've been keeping my eye on this, and it's just like, and I mean, from a land perspective, that's good because the prices and the value of land has kept up in certain regions. There's certain regions where you see a lot of buying and selling going on, a lot of flipping, and, you know, that's kind of where the prices are relatively low, you know, so. But if I could, my main point is if I could pick up some stone producing land in either that or Ravenwood, I probably would. So there's a few more for sale in Ravenwood. Let's go by price. There's a Magic Death, a Magic Swamp for $54. I've got one magic plot in this zone. It's a mountain. Yeah, here it is, Magic Death Mountain. Okay, let's jump back into chat, see what's going on. Snowball says, I like to play the Wind Beaver game on Discord. Yeah, I think there's a whole guild named Wind Beaver now or something. I think that's a requirement to be in the guild. You have to constantly say Wind Beaver in Discord chat. Yeah, I saw that gathering. Ravenwood Castle is still. I just don't have that much cash. How much is it for sale? I just don't have that much cash. Let's go to rarity, and that would be a legendary plus. Here it goes. $9,500. I previously bought in Ravenwood because I like the sound of it, but Nate owned a lot of land. I don't know if he still owns a lot of land in this region. But $9,500 for the castle. I just can't do that. My wife would look at me like, you are crazy. And she's put up with me playing this game for years, right? And putting what some people would say a higher amount of than average for a hobby into this. You know, I've spent more on Splinterlands than I've spent on bass guitars. I also like to play bass. And I also have a fairly large bass collection, you know, so that's saying a lot since a bass is, you know, a decent one is over $1,000. So, Crypto Beaver says, Raven Idol, is it worth it to purchase the pass? $12 is a bit steep, launching in 7 days now. I'm going to do another video on that. It's coming out on the 10th. Thanks for mentioning that, Beaver. If you want to make money on the game, you have to buy the pass. That's it. But, it remains to be seen how much you can actually make off the game if you don't place on the ladder or place on the, it's going to go on a season by season basis. I know this is jumping off of Splinterlands for a minute, but it's going on a season by season basis. Let's jump over to... I'm not going to spend too much time on it, so don't stop listening just because you don't want to hear about Raven Idol. This is going to launch the 10th, and it is an idle game. It's one of the it's the first idle where you can play to earn that I've heard of. If there's another one, let me know. So we got 6 days left. It's based upon a season by season basis. A season is 28 days. You buy the battle pass. You try to place on the leaderboard, and by placing on the leaderboard, then you actually that's how much you win by placing on the leaderboard. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure. The big question mark. I just did a heart. I don't know why I did a heart, but the big question mark is, can you earn without placing on the leaderboard? Now, it's been stated you can't earn without that $12 battle pass. So logic would say you would have to be able to play and place higher and earn more than $12, significantly more than $12 to make it worth it. Now, was it a fun game? Yeah, I open beta tested it for the 5 days it was available. And this is the same game that they tried to put out in the middle of the year, in July, I believe, and it went live, and it got crushed by so many people wanting to play that they had to take it back down and redo the whole back end, or reprogram recode a lot of different stuff to make it take the amount of people that are actually wanting to play it. It's based on the same premise as Raven Quest is, with the same in-game, artwork and music and everything. It's just placed in an idle game. It's one of those things where you can play it just on your secondary screen, go do whatever you're going to do, come back once in a while. But I fully think that it's also one of those games that the people that are going to place high on the leaderboard are going to be constantly playing it 24/7. So it's based on the idea of being an idle game, but the people that are going to score the highest are going to pay a lot of attention to it. Okay, back over to Splinterlands, but thanks for bringing that up. Gathering says, wish I could pay something to reduce the cooldown time. Yeah, on the cards, I agree. I've done this many times, and I go to swap cards around on my land, and I'm like, oh, I can't swap them because they've got a cooldown time. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's kind of like the cooldown time on cards, how people were swapping cards between accounts and only having one set of cards and playing on 2 or 3 accounts with the same set of cards. They instituted a trade cooldown time on usage for that purpose. I'm wondering what the reason is why they won't let you just switch it from one land to another. You're already hitting these blockades along the way as far as paying the tax, and you can only claim so much. I'm sure there's a good reason in there somewhere. I just don't know it. Dehota says they're thinking about trying Raven Idol. Well, I'm going to try it out. I've done a couple videos on it. If you're interested in more, there's like 2 videos I have on my channel that I just did within the last few weeks. It's my basically first take look at the beta, and more information about it. I'm going to do a video about the basics of the game. I feel that I'm going to try it out. I'm going to get the battle pass, and I'm going to see how I place. If it's one of those things where you have to 24/7 it, then I'm just going to back down because I can't spend that much time. I cover so many games and I do so much on YouTube. Most of my spare time is spent doing YouTube stuff. And I have to have something to cover, that's right, but it takes a lot of time to make these videos, right? So I can't, in other words, if I'm not going to make the $12 back on a season-by-season basis, then there's no point in me putting it in there. But with that said, I thought it was a fun game, right? So Gathering says, neutral gold foils are starting to grow on me for their versatility. I sat monsters around on my swap, probably meant swap monsters around my plots a lot. I still like going with the main splinters to get that extra bonus. For those of you who don't know, you can use neutral cards on any land, but you just don't have that bonus that you would get, that extra 10% bonus by using the splinter specific. Let's go back to land. Oh, come on. Production, just to give you an example, I'm just going to go into this. So on this land, this is a river, and if you scroll down, you see that an elemental synergy is if I use earth and water cards on this land, then I get plus 10%. Now, they're going to have the reverse, an elemental penalty. If you use fire or dragon on this land, you get negative 50%. Now, you definitely don't want to get a penalty because that defeats the purpose of even doing anything on land, right? It's expensive enough. You don't want to be putting penalty cards on the land. But the side point here from gathering is that neutral cards can be used on any land without penalty, without synergy. So you're not getting that extra 10% bonus. That's basically what that's saying. So that's why I haven't bought any neutrals to specifically put on land. Now, I will say from a gameplay perspective, neutrals have great value because in the greatest variety of matches, you can use neutrals. In fact, that's one of the first things I saw in this game when I first started playing in the game was that I should invest in neutrals and buy some neutral cards because unless you get a no neutrals match, you can use them in a lot of your different matches, right? So they have great value in play. It's just in land. I can see your point, but I still prefer to get that extra 10%. Scrolling through chat here to try and catch up. Poker Mouse says, is there a way to free play? Yeah, Gathering already answered you. Yeah, you can jump in and you can start up. In fact, you can check any of my Splinterlands videos, and in the chat or the information here in this live stream, you can use my referral code, my ambassador code, and start the game. What happens is when you first start, you will get campaign mode. And campaign mode is basically a storyline, and it leads you through the stories. It's basically teaching you how to play the game. And as you progress through the storyline, you earn cards to play with. Now, after that is complete, it is going to kind of show you into frontier mode, like they were saying. Let's go back here. Play ranked. Frontier mode. And this is the free mode, and they will have, you have some quests that you can do on a daily basis. You play, you can earn cards. If you're very lucky, you can earn packs off of the, what happens is when you win, like, so your objective is going to be win 5 times in a day, right? And then when you clear that, then you get an entry into the weekly drawing. Now, you can clear this 3 times a day, which is up to 15 wins a day, and get you a bunch of free entries. Now, as you progress up from the lowest league, then you get more entries and more entries for your win. And for those, whenever they do the weekly giveaway drawing, so to speak, then you can get free cards, cool cards, you can get packs, stuff like that. So that is the free mode. Now, directly after that, once you've been playing, and really, frankly, free mode is really set there to teach you the game and help you learn the game. And if you like the game, then what you do is you buy the spell book. It's $10. You get $10 back pretty quickly in this game, right? And then once you do that, you can choose to play Frontier, and you can choose to start playing Modern as well, which when you start playing Modern with the newer cards, then you can start earning, in Frontier mode, you earn cards, and you can turn around and sell those cards if you want, make a little profit. Or you can build your deck up so you're a stronger player, right? And then you can turn around and play those cards in Modern as well, and you can buy other packs and such. You know what we didn't do is we did not buy my gold foil pack this week. So let's go. I noticed that actually the packs were a little bit cheaper on the market. So I can get, I noticed this last week, I can get a Arcana pack for $9.46 instead of the standard $12 on the market. So we are going to buy this with credits and open my weekly pack. But Poker Mouse, yes. I hope that answers your question. Yes, you can play for free. And like I said, the free, you could keep going free if you wanted to. But generally speaking, it's meant like a try it out phase. See if you like the game. From there, if you do, you buy the spell book and you continue on. All right, so. Okay, let's go and let's open. Okay, cross your fingers for me. Let's open my weekly pack. Dang, I forgot to check my potions. Wow, I was about to say, oh, it's a standard pack, but it's a gold foil epic, my friends. So the rest of these are going to be commons, but I'll trade all those commons. Here we go. Gold foil Silverin Sentinel. It's gold foil. I needed it. Nice. Okay, let's go over here to my items and check out what's the situation with Conclave Arcana gold foil. And let's choose epic. Okay, yeah, that was my first one of that. These are the epic ones I've drawn. It all helps in the big picture of things. Get an extra gold foil, help me out in playing my gold foil guild brawls. Okay, with that said, you know what? Let's do another giveaway since we're coming down towards the end of the show. Everybody in the chat, if you are not Dehoda, in the chat, put hashtag SPS to the moon if you've been active in chat. Once again, I'm giving away an Arena Fanatic and a pickle. Once again, the Arena Fanatic is courtesy of the Splinterlands team, and the pickle is courtesy of DeFizz. So thanks, DeFizz, for pitching in the pot, giving us some stuff to give away. Hashtag SPS to the moon if you want to get in on this giveaway. Okay, while we're waiting for that, we will look further at chat. Gathering says, Dave said the cooldown is so the whales don't swap the high-powered cards too much. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while. I mean, it stands to reason, right? But 2 days. Sharon says, I think the cooldown makes sense, taking it off land and then like letting it cool down before giving it to somebody or whatever. But I don't think that you should be able to go land to land without it. I guess everybody has their own opinion. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I think there should be some cooldown in there. I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm sure maybe like 24 hours is better than 48, but I'm sure they have some kind of reasoning behind it. Okay, we got Gathering the Magic. Crypto Beaver, Paul, Snowballs. Okay, I'm not going to enforce it this week, but from here forward, to get into get your name in the pot for giveaways, you have to be active in chat. You can't just be sitting in the back of class not raising your hand. Also, you do need an active Splinterlands account, and you have to have the spell book bought. So. Okay, there we go. If you'd like to get your name in on the drawing, once again, you have to have a Splinterlands account. Hashtag SPS to the moon. Snowball says, I keep forgetting time crystals are a thing. Yeah, they are. Can you use time crystals to reduce the cooldown on a card? Let's go over to, these were Chaos Legion, and they were gold foil, and I know they were water. Arbin says, I'll see you tomorrow, Bronze. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Well, you as well, Arbin. I'll see you tomorrow on my weekly Atlas Earth show. Okay, let's take a look at this. Update lock days. Unlock one card. No, this is locked. No, this is just all about locking the card. This is not, when you put a card on land, it automatically locks it. This has nothing to do with the cooldown. And it's given me no options other than delegate. So I don't think that you can spend time crystals on unlocking cards. Hey, Dragons here. Welcome. Okay, let's get back to the giveaway. And here we go. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. And there we go. Hey, look at that. Lady Sharon gets the drawing. Lady Sharon takes home a pickle and a fanatic. So, yeah, sorry, Dragon, you got here just at the end of the show. Sorry about that. But I do want to say thanks for everybody dropping by. As always, I appreciate it. We have this show once a week on Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern Time every week, you know, and I've been doing it. This is the 130th in a row. So thanks for dropping by, and thanks for checking out my content on Splinterlands and other topics, other games. I appreciate it as always. I hope everyone in your house and on your side of things is happy and healthy, because at the end of it, if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. So as I always say, this has been Bronze Dragon, and I will see you in Splinterlands.